Hey, what's up guys? John here. A whopping 24,000 American tech workers have been fired over the last 7 days.
The new year is not starting off on a happy note for workers at some of the country's largest tech companies, with more layoffs just announced.
The layoffs are already piling up this year, and we're just a few weeks into 2024.
This year has gotten off to a very bumpy start, and it looks like it's going to get a lot worse. Sports Illustrated, Wall Street Journal, Yahoo News, The Washington Post, all issuing massive layoffs, some of which are in the thousands. American Airlines issuing layoffs. Chapter 11 bankruptcies are skyrocketing. You have to ask yourself, are we going to go through this soft landing like Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell have promised us, or are we walking into something that's going to be more reminiscent of the Great Financial Crisis? It might sound dramatic, but during the Great Financial Crisis, 2008, the entire market lost 2.6 million jobs, according to the New York Times, right? So they're losing about 217,000 jobs a month. And when you look at the speed in which we are seeing layoffs, it looks like we're going to walk into something big. But one thing that no one's talking about is that $2 trillion in loans that are held by American companies has to get refinanced this year, meaning the borrowing costs are going to go through the roof for these companies. And what are these companies going to do? They're going to try to reduce costs and expenses. At the same time, 2021, the employees demanded a 20-30% pay raise during the Great Resignation. So what's going to likely happen? Employers are going to start looking at their costs differently. They're going to start issuing layoffs at a much faster speed, and they're going to be renegotiating wages. We're walking into something really, really big here. I believe this is going to be the biggest wealth transfer in America. I think we're going to see so many people lose so much property and perceived wealth that it's going to rock the world. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show you the facts. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share the content, educate more people about what's going on in the U.S. economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video for a free strategy session. Take a look at this. So tech layoffs are already on pace to surpass last year. Look at this. This week alone, layoffs more than doubled to nearly 24,000. More than 10,000 tech workers across the globe lost their job Tuesday. Then came an additional 1,900 cuts for Microsoft's gaming division, while analysts have said that layoffs should be smaller and more targeted this year, with companies shifting investments to generative AI. The job cuts in January are already higher than the monthly averages in the last 2 years. Now, they're saying job cuts are going to be smaller as they begin to shift towards generative AI. They're going to get bigger. The more that generative AI starts to move in this direction, the less human capital will be needed. You know, very interesting. In 2008, it was a crisis caused by humans, solved by humans. 2024 and 2025, it's a crisis caused by humans, solved by technology. So we're walking into the beginning stage of this technological revolution. And the more that people realize this, the more they're going to position themselves for it. To be more sure, companies could also simply be taking swift action at the start of the year to make cuts before continuing business as usual. But that doesn't mean with tech giants like Google and Amazon indicating layoffs at those companies will continue. AI means bye-bye workers. Many of these cuts come as companies strengthen their position in AI space. Google, Amazon, data miner, and Spotify, for example, slash staff roles while simultaneously focusing, even celebrating enhancements in our AI features. The juxtaposition of celebrating advanced AI-driven features while simultaneously reducing the human workforce raises critical questions about the impacts of AI and automation on jobs. So let's look at this. Show you the speed of which this is moving. UPS issuing massive layoffs, Google spending $3 billion in severance. But when you see the media layoffs that are just starting to skyrocket, more than 20,000 media jobs were cut in 2023, with more coming back on the chopping block. I mean, media, Wall Street Journal planning complete restructuring. So when you start to look at all these, see a change in the work culture, Los Angeles Times, Sports Illustrated, among media outlets announcing layoffs 2024, you can see very, very clearly American Airlines tries to fix their customer service with layoffs, right? 656 workers that they're laying off. Banking, 60,000 positions were recently just cut. And you can see this very, very clearly. CEO says generative AI will result in job cuts in 2024. A quarter of global chief executive expects the deployment of generative artificial intelligence to lead the headcount reduction of at least 5% this year, according to a survey unveiled as business leaders gathered in Davos. Industries by media and entertainment, banking, insurance, and logistics were most likely to predict job losses because of the cutting-edge AI tools, according to the poll of top directors conducted by PwC ahead of this week's World Economic Forum. Engineering, construction firms were least likely to anticipate cuts because of automation alongside technology companies. Some 46% of those surveyed said that they expect to use generative AI systems that can spew out human-like text, images, and code in seconds to boost profitability in the next 12 months, the survey added. However, 47% said the technology will deliver little or no change. Even if that is true, even if it's 47%, even if it's 70%, even if it's 70%, and it's only 20, 30% saying this, what this is going to mean to boost profitability over the next 12 months, like all the chaos that we've lived through over the last 4 years, to wrap your head around that's it's been a 4-year period since 2020 that we're moving into. 12 months is like that. That'll go so fast. So the next year, 2 years, 3 years, we're going to see the advancements of this really start to take foot. And so the big question just becomes, is how will Americans hold on to a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 mortgage payment as this starts to move in? Because even if somebody's industry is not directly impacted by AI, their customer, maybe that's buying their product or service, might be impacted. So it's going to be a ripple effect that's going to be felt throughout the entire economy. But I think we're going to start to see a lot of people position themselves and go out there and start to buy up a lot of this property. I mean, they already admit that MetLife Insurance is saying 40% of all single-family homes will be owned by institutional investors and other investors in the next 6 years. So I think this is going to be one of the first dominoes that's going to instigate that to happen. 4,702 company chiefs spread across 105 countries point to far-reaching impacts that AI models are expected to have on economies and societies, a topic that will prominently be at the annual meeting. Now, 40% of jobs could be impacted, according to the IMF, International Monetary Fund. And the $2 trillion in corporate debt, all of this stuff is coming together in a perfect head. And you see the writing on the wall. U.S. consumers have less money today than ever. You have 29.6% of residents in the nation's top 100 metros are behind on at least one bill. You have a 30-year high on auto loan delinquencies. So auto loan delinquencies among subprime borrowers reached nearly a 30-year high in September of 6.1%, the highest rate since 1994. Average car payment on a new car is $729 a month, with car insurance skyrocketing. I asked myself, big question, how could this not be true? How could this not be true? We walk into an environment with inflation going through the roof where, just driving through a fast food restaurant drive-through window is $20. I mean, they're talking like $15, $18 for Big Macs, like a Big Mac combo meal, $15, $18, $16, $18. Where are people going to prioritize their spending? They're going to feed themselves first, and they're going to feed their lenders second. That's what's going to happen. Food prices are going to continue to rise at a period in which wages are going to soften, and it's going to instigate massive defaults. But I think what people are going to start doing is prioritizing who's going to get paid first. I think we're going to see defaults across multifamily apartments continue to rise. I think we're going to see defaults across auto lenders continue to grow. We're going to see a lot of change here. The last time this many drivers are delinquent on their auto loans was when the first mobile flip phone in October of 1996. That's according to new data from Fitch Rating examining the percentage of borrowers at least 60 days past due on the loan in the third quarter of 2023. Now, here's what's shocking about this data. What happened in the fourth quarter of 2023? Student loans are due, and 40% of American borrowers that took out these loans did not pay. 40%, a whopping 9 million people did not pay those bills. So you could imagine, of the 60% that did pay, how many of those people were able to make good on their auto loans, on their credit cards, on their home loans, on their health insurance payments, on their other bills? Because people are going to start cutting expenses where they can, and the defaults are going to just continue to rise. And some borrowers, the higher risk than others. Here's what causes surge and how to decrease your risk of falling behind on your loan. But one thing to take into consideration is they say here the subprime borrower. And so when you're looking at this situation with this subprime borrower skyrocketing, what you can see here is the last thing you want to be in is this category, the 501 to 600 credit score. Even if you're 610, 620, you want to be 750, 770, because lenders are looking at the writing on the wall. They're saying, okay, we issued 10,000 loans. What category of people are failing to pay us back at the highest rate? They're going to say, lower credit score. And so that's what's going to happen. They're going to start saying, who's paying us back the most? People with high credit scores, people with higher credibility are going to end up paying us back more. They're going to continue tightening down on credit. No doubt about it. And as you look at all of this, how this is going to ripple through the economy, it's very, very easy to see. Home prices are going to continue to, I believe, soften in very, very expensive markets. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Miami, these markets are going to have a much harder time holding on to this. A lot of those markets are also seeing a massive spike in insurance costs. And so if you were to buy a home, let's say $412,000, which you're not getting a home in any of those markets, but if you're buying the average home in America, you're looking at $3,500 every single month, which is 60% more than the price to rent an apartment as a national average. How many people will be able to qualify to buy a property, even if they want to, for $3,500 a month? They would have to make $120,000 a year, basically 3 times this, just to be able to qualify. That's if they don't have student loan debt, if they don't have credit card debt or auto loan debt, they would need basically 3x that. How many people are making that type of money? How many people have 2 years of stable income? It's going to be a situation where there's going to be a lot more home sellers than home buyers that are going to be able to absorb this inventory. And what I think is going to happen is it's going to be undeniable over the next couple months, over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. Home inventory is going to continue to rise. There's not going to be the buyer pool that many people think is out there to go out there and buy these homes. And it's going to be raced to the bottom for a lot of these home sellers. And so what are we going to start to see here? We're going to start to see a lot more rental inventory hit the market. A lot of people are going to try to rent out their homes if they don't have the equity in it to sell, if they can rent it out. And you have a 50-year high on apartment construction. You have so much rental inventory coming, and rents are going to continue to fall. And what do people do in an affordability crisis? They don't go out there and spend more money. They don't go out there and spend $3,500. They could rent for $1,400, $1,500. No. We're walking into a housing market that's about to flip. Everything is about to flip. And so people that are positioned for this, they have the right job, or they're put in a really, really good job. Maybe they have a business. They're really kind of looking at this and reverse engineering their goals backwards based on the chain of events that are happening in this economy, are going to do a lot better. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy to walk into, this new normal. It's coming at us like a freight train. If you want to fix your credit to position yourself, maybe you want to invest in distressed real estate, maybe you want to get a business loan, you want to get an auto loan, you have some type of goal, make sure your credit score is in line with your goal. Put your credit score at 750 and above. Put yourself in a position to where if you were a lender, you would want to lend you money. If you have any issue at all on your credit report, if you have a late payment, medical bill, charge-off, foreclosure, bankruptcy, repossession, any issue at all on your credit report, book a free strategy session by clicking the link in the description just below this video, and I'll catch you in the next video.